Today we will be discussing about repetition structure. So I hope clear yung selection structures natin, which are if statement tsaka switch statement. Now, if there are still clarifications or questions about switch statement, you may post your comments in our G Classroom or post it sa FB chat. Now, yung repetition structure is commonly known as loop. So we use this one if we want to repeat some instructions. So to repeat instructions, we need condition to control the loop. So either yung condition mo is specifically for repeating the instructions or to stop the repetition. So more on that later. So we have a looping condition for if we want to tell the computer or the compiler if we want to continue the loop. And then we have the loop exit if we want to stop the loop. So eto siya, we will have this later when I give you world problems. Later na yun siya because what you will be doing later is more on understanding how a loop works. So, ang focus natin is looping condition muna. Okay. So, we have two types of repetition structure. We have the pre-test and then the post-test. So, syempre, from the root word pre, meaning before. So, itest muna siya ang loop before entering the loop. And then we have the post-test, which is yung post meaning after. So, sa pre-test, yung condition, i-evaluate muna before you enter the loop or before the loop is processed. So, this is the most commonly used loop. Yung post-test naman, yung evaluation mo occurs after ma-process at least once yung loop mo. Kasi yung condition mo nandun sa baba. Kaya ang pangalan niya is post-test. Meaning before. Rather after. Okay. So here is parang sort of review lang for our sequence structure. Meaning, sunod-sunod lang. By sequence lang i-perform yung instructions that the programmer coded. When you use a repetition, yung sequence mo will be your loop body. Yung nasa loob ng loop. Tawag doon sequence. Yung parang normal lang na Java statements. And then, yung repetition structure mo looks like this one. So, when you use pseudocode, ganito lang yung ilagay nyo. Repeat while yung condition mo is nandito. So, if your condition is true, meaning mag-repeat siya. I-repeat niya yung loop body. Now, if mag-false na yung condition mo, that's the time na mag-exit siya sa loop. Okay, so here, I'll be presenting to you the two types of loop. The last one or the third one, I will introduce next week. So here, yung while loop natin is an example of a pre-test loop. Yung do while dito is an example of a post-test loop. Now, let's focus muna sa while loop. Okay, so sa while loop, you will need the while keyword. And then yung condition niya, nakapasok pa rin sa parentheses. And then if may multiple statements na i-perform sa body, i-enclose mo siya sa braces. Okay? So here is an example of a while statement. So here, mapansin niyo, you have to declare muna the variable outside of the while, meaning before. So, i-declare nyo muna yung variable. And then, dapat mayroon siyang initial value. So, in this case, ang initial value natin is for x is 1. Now, paano to i-interpret? So, dito, yung initial value is 1. So, ni x. So, is 1 less than equal to 5. So, true siya, di ba? So, dun pa siya papasok sa loop. And then, i-print niya daw yung laman ni x, which is 1. Tapos, lagyan niya daw ng space after. So, i-display niya si 1 and then may space. Okay? Para lang ma-separate natin yung output na mga values or numbers. Now, this one is what we call an increment, yung plus plus. So, basically, yung x plus plus, shortened version siya ng eto na equation. So, x is equal to x plus 1, meaning yung value, current value ni x, mag-add siya doon ng 1 and then parang i-overwrite niya yung value ni x. So, ang bagong value ni x is 2. So, after nito na statement, naging 2 si x. So, after nyan, babalik siya sa taas and then i-evaluate niya again. So, since ang new value ni x is 2 less than equal to 5. So, true pa rin siya. Pasok siya sa loob. Print niya si 2 with the space. Okay? Tapos, dito, mag-plus na naman siya ng 1. So, 2 plus 1 is 3. So, nag-update na naman yung si x, naging 3. So, true pa rin na less than 5 yung 3. Print, 3 space. 3 plus 1, 4. Balik sa taas. Evaluate, 4. Display, 4 space. And then, 4 plus 1 is 5. So, is 5 less than or equal to 5? So, since true pa rin, display si 5 and then space. Tapos, 5 plus plus, so meaning 5 plus 1 is 6. Mag-exit na ba siya? Not yet. Kasi it has to go back first sa condition. Kasi i-check niya pa if yung current value ni x, which is 6, if less than ba siya equal to 5. So since nag-false na siya, that's the time na mag-exit siya from the loop. Dira pa siya magawas. So here is the output. Now, what if baliktad? What if gusto mo mag-start yung output sa 5 or a bigger number? Gagamit ka na naman ng decrement. So, decrement, kung ang isa plus 1, kare minus 1. So, same concept. Okay? Minus 1. So, dito, medyo nag-change yung condition mo. Okay? Kasi nga, we will start with a bigger number. So, here, ang initial value ni x before entering while is 5. Kasi gusto natin mag-start yung result natin to 5. So, pagpasok niya dito, i-check niya if ang 5 is greater than 0. Okay? So, since true siya na greater than 0 ang 5, print niya, ayan, 5 space, and then x minus minus. So, mag-minus siya ng 1 kay 5. So, the new value of 5 is 4. Pagbalik niya sa taas, 4 is 4 greater than 0. Since true, print, and so on and so forth. So, pag naging 1 na siya, dito, let's say dito na tayo na part. So, na-display niya si 1, may space. So, 1 minus 1 is 0. So, pagbalik niya sa taas is 0 greater than 0. So, false siya, di ba? So, that's the time na mag-exit siya from the loop. Okay? So, yun yung while loop. So, anyway, if may unclear pa dyan na or may questions pa, you may post doon sa ano natin, sa kung where we are communicating. Now we have the do while loop. Okay, so here you have to use first the do keyword. Tapos meron siyang braces. And then after the ending brace, doon niya ilagay yung condition, yung while. While condition, and then do not forget the semicolon dito na part. Okay, sa do while loop. Kasi most of the time, yung ma-encounter na error ng students before, walay semicolon dire or etong sa while, ginabot nga nilag semicolon dire na part. So don't do that. Kasi mag-error yan siya. So, pag pre-test, basta while statement or while loop, walay semicolon. Pag do while loop, na ay semicolon. Okay? So, here is an example of the do while loop na the same lang yung output niya from the while loop, pero paano pag do while loop ang code mo. So, if we compare that one with the while loop, same condition, same initial value, same dito, nag-differ lang sa syntax. Okay? Ayan. Same din dito, nag-start sa 5 para sa eto na output. And then minus, minus. Okay? So, same process yan siya. Now, why is it na pag post-test, at least once papasok siya sa loop or i-perform niya to, and then yung while loop, which is a pre-test, may instance na pwedeng di siya mag-perform ng loop. Okay, so I'll show you. So dito kasi, what if, eto, example, what if 0 siya? Dito, same ba yan sila? Okay. Let's say, tanggalin ko lang ito. Okay. So, what if yung si x, starting point niya is 0? So, di ba pag i-evaluate mo yan, 0 is 0 greater than 0. So, false na siya. So, the loop will not be processed. Hindi siya papasok sa loop. So, exit siya kaagad. Now, sa do while kasi, yung evaluation niya dito pa sa baba. So, dito, if x is 0, papasok muna siya dito. Do muna etong nasa loob. So, i-display niya yung 0. Tapos, minus niya ng 1. So, it becomes negative 1. Tapos, dun niya pa i-evaluate. So, at least once, mag-display siya or mag-perform siya ng statement inside the do while. So, let's try running this one. So, mapansin nyo, 0 ang na-display. That's from the do while loop. While yung sa while loop natin, wala siya nag-display because dun pa lang at the start, nag-false na siya. Okay? So, yun yung, bakit at least once yung post-test ma-perform yung loop. Yun yung instances. Okay. So, here, let's say this is 5, I think. So, dito, depende kasi sa condition yun, pero the same pa rin yung result. Let's say, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can do this one na greater than 0 or greater than equal 1. Okay? So, let's try running this one. So, mapansin niyo 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 pa rin for the first while. Sa while loop muna kayo mag-focus. And then, gawin yung 0 yan. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 pa rin ang result. So, kung lagyan nyo kasi yan ng equal, masali yan si 0. Diba? You don't want to include the 0. But if ang required lang is until 1, so nagkamali ka na. Okay? So, you have to be mindful with your condition also. Okay, so, here, kung mapansin nyo, 0, naging 0 na si x. So, bakit nag-0 si x? Bakit 0 yung na-display niya? Because they are sharing the same variable. Okay? Kasi yun yung nilagay ko dito. You can actually declare another variable dito. Pero I just want to reuse the variable sa taas. So, what if gusto ko rin i-display dito yung 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pero do while. So, pwedeng ganito yung gawin ninyo. Parang i-reset nyo yung value ni x. Now, bakit walang int? Kasi na-declare na siya sa taas na integer siya. So, kung gamitin nyo sa baba, no need na maglagay ng int kasi declared na siya. So, i-reset nyo na lang. Okay? Or you can assign a new value which is 5 here. So, pagpara nyo, the same lang ang output. Now, if you don't want to use the same, alam ba, By the way, if you're going to submit, lagyan nyo ng number, ha? Or assignment number 1 ba yan, number 2, etc. Later, if you are just going to use the same program for your output later sa activity. Okay, so dito kasi, you can use different variables. Depende sa inyo. So, let's say dito, gusto mo, let's say, y na po dire. So, pwede man po. Depende sa inyo. Ang purpose ko lang kasi doon is, at least, dili ka nag-waste og memory. Kasi ni-reuse mo na yung declared one. Since, ang gamit lang man niya ni X is until dire. Dili naman siya, no other usage. So, pwede mong i-reuse. So, pwede rin, kung gusto mo, different variable, pwede rin. So, same output pa rin yan siya. Okay? And then next, okay, so, we have the decrement and then yung increment. And then, you may also use this one. Kasi what if may instances na, what if kailangan i-times or i-minus siya by 2, more than 1. So, pwede nyong gamitin yan. Let's say dito, gusto mo minus 2 kaagad. Hindi, minus 1. Pwede rin siya. Okay? So, 531 lang ang na-display. Bakit 531? Because at first, 5 si X. So, since true siya na greater than 1, print niya si 5. Then, 5 minus 2, naging 3 na si X. Pagbalik niya, 3. Greater than pa rin, display. Then, 3 minus 2, 1. So, may na-skip na siya na numbers because bigger number na ang gi-minus nimo sa current value ni X. Okay? So, pwede rin siya plus. But don't do this one. Kasi pag sige kag plus, take note, greater than siya perme. Murag wala siya way na mag-exit. So, ang tawag dyan is infinite loop. Okay? So, pag iparana nimo, sige na siya infinite, di na siya mag-exit. So, mag-infinite loop na siya until maubos ang memory mo. Okay, close natin to. So, don't do that, especially na you are using your phones. Okay? So, be mindful of your counter here. Kung increment, decrement pa na, or this shortcut operator, or i-compare din ninyo sa inyong condition. If mag-infinite loop ba siya or not. Okay? So, dito, because greater than man ang imuhang kuan, ang imuhang condition. So, dapat mag-exit siya pag less than less than 1 na yung X. So, dapat may way ka nga mag less than 1 ang X. Okay? Kung less than equal pud ang imuhang operator, dapat may way ka nga ang X mag greater than 1 siya ang iyahang condition. Okay? So, dapat ma-compare ninyo dire on what counter you will be using. Pero, depende pa rin sa result. Okay? So, you may use this one. Ano pa? Now, if may questions kayo, you may post this one sa G Classroom or dun sa natin, FB chat. And then, I'll just add here yung what you will be doing. Yung assignment ninyo. Okay? So, yung last looping statement, I will introduce that one next week. Okay?